Well, good evening and welcome to Coffee and Tea with Asen and the Round Table. With me tonight is, of course, Techie Joe being held hostage until he gets our other co-host here, Dottie the Psychic, and of course,
problem child, apparently.
and Tracy Vann. How are you guys?
Awesome.
I should have hit the live button earlier, but when you held me hostage, like I don't work. Like that's how that happened.
I know, but we promised our baristas that you might be you might get pulled for doing a reading.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What the?
Yes, that could be fun.
That's what would happen when I go to run errands in the middle of a meeting.
Oh, so yes, we are. If you have a question, one of us will take it. It will be decided by, I'm thinking, lot. Let's grab some lot paper, shall we?
Unless we all just want to pull a card.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, let's just pull a card. Let's make
because I actually brought like Oracle and then the life purpose card, something other than tarot.
Okay.
So there you go. Awesome.
You may you're not gonna like what this one says because it's gonna tell the motherfucking truth.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm reading? I'm reading the black deck tonight because somebody else has the deck I'm currently favoring for the moment. The Luscious Tarot.
The Lustrous Tarot.
Luscious.
My new deck, and I've been using it professionally since I got it like middle of last week, and it's great. I love it.
Isn't it a fabulous deck? The cardstock alone, I mean, the paper feels so lush. The imagery is so clear and nice.
It's just, I like the bright. It's very vibrant.
Uh-huh.
The colors.
Film's better than mine. Like mine's like extra waxy or something. But I thought we'd start, since I have you all here, I thought we'd start with an interesting topic that I got from my husband about. Psychic diet.
Okay.
Well, that's getting a few responses in here too.
Okay.
Like, how psychic diet are we going? Like, I tell you what, now I remember one of the things that makes me go like, you know what, that's over the line, is some of the diets that people follow. I'm like, okay, well, we're reaching in culty land and I'm out.
Well,
like
do y'all
that,
remember? I think that it was probably about 2 decades ago. Well, let me go up a backstory first.
Okay.
So, as we know, Asen's working on changing his physical form into something he finds more pleasing. And about last week, I went to a health coach. Okay, health coach wants me to eat 2,100 calories a day. Out of those 2,100 calories, he wants me to take in 268 carbohydrates, a ton of fat, and very little protein. And I was like, are you nuts? Yeah, 20% of my diet should be protein.
I don't.
Okay, here's the thing. I will tell you this now as a former nurse, and Asen, you can back me as a former healthcare worker. I would like to make this announcement. If you're going to do something nutritional, then you should either follow a reputable nutritional program. If you are of an average or normal body type, and I don't like that word normal, but it is used, or more preferably, you should actually speak to a nutritionist,
right,
or a dietitian.
Agree.
Somebody who has a license to protect. So if they hurt you, you can go after it, because when somebody's got a license to protect, they're a lot more likely to make sure they're accurate with their information.
Yeah.
So Asen said, okay, you're a health coach. You're actually, employed at this gym, and you get personal training certificates and all that. Yeah, how'd that work, Joe?
Oh, it's been bad. Because, see, you didn't really tell me what you were doing. I just got the surprise of, he's getting really carb happy. like he's gone like the most of our relationship, and it's been like low carb, no carb, hardly any carbs. Like it's a miracle to see him eat a carb. And then all of a sudden it's like, so do you want pasta? And it's like, well, yeah. Like, thank you for rocking my love language. I'm a cheap date, some easy mac and cheese, and I will twerk it.
Here you.
You know,
I love how it echoed on that. I love how it echoed on that.
There you go. But no, so he starts getting very, very carb happy, and I'm like, okay. Like I thought it was a one night, special, and then it was like an every night special, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. But then he proceeded to like it hit his body like freight train. And so as I was about to have the moment of, I don't know what you were trying to apologize for, he effectively said, well, here's what's been going on. And I'm like, oh. So, yeah, he suffered. He suffered a lot.
Yeah. So then it trickled back into our brain something that was called the living diet. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, low processed food. And that's what I basically had been doing for about 5 years.
So it's the bark diet for people?
Basically. I do my Slim Pack shake in the mornings because, me and food in the mornings doesn't bestly agree with each other. I have a lovely salad or fresh fruit or, simple foods for lunch. And then at dinner, I have a nice balanced fresh food. Go for it.
Just like, wait a minute.
Talk about the salad, though. It is like 3 leaves of like this romaine and like power green thing that he got. And then the rest of it is entirely like tomatoes and like large chunky onion. Oh, and cucumber. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's still vegetables, though.
Yeah, still good.
And how have I been for the past 3 days?
Awake.
And functioning.
Yes.
Sometimes the proof's in the pudding.
Mm-hmm. So it got, and I was like, so I wonder who else has dietary issues at this round table.
I don't have issues. I don't. I like fun, and I don't follow a diet, but I do everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if I want a piece of cake, I eat the piece of cake.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't eat the whole cake. You know what I mean? I'm one of those ones that I eat what I want, but it's just moderation and watching the portions.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I honestly
like food. I like greasy wings, pizza. That sweet I could take or leave. I like at bar food.
I like. I'm really weird. Like if I'm sick, I want double cheeseburgers from McDonald's. Just go get me a double cheeseburger, and it'll fix me almost within the hour.
Yeah, most every one of your stomach issues is fixable with a double cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not kidding. I wish I were.
That's interesting. That's hangover food. The double cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I know. Like that's how I know it. But his stomach acts, and I believe me when I say it's not because he's hungover. But every time he has anything that hits his tummy, like it's straight to go get the double cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that's it. Until you do that, it's gonna hang around and make him miserable, and then you like insert double cheeseburger and like instant fix.
That's a new one.
Like it is the weirdest thing. Because my first thought when if I have a stomach thing going on, like I can think about a double cheeseburger and it's just like, ooh.
I eat nothing when I have a stomach thing. Maybe some chicken broth.
See, I'll throw that up in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, he hates. Only person I've ever met hates homemade chicken noodle soup.
Mason.
It is nuts.
Hates it. If it does not come out of a can that says Campbell's, he will not eat it. And he does not like chicken and stars. He doesn't like the home style. It's got to be old school, classic, high sodium chicken noodle. Like, that's it. That's your only option. I messed up in the beginning, very early on, and he wasn't feeling well. So I was like, I will make soup.
That's
and
the
he
go-to
just
when
looked
you're
at me
sick, right?
and was like, no.
Yeah. I had a relationship over that.
Yeah, that's the go-to when someone says they're sick, you make them soup.
You go to the cat pantry. We have a section in our pantry that is reserved for sick food. You get out the can of Campbell's soup. You open the can of soup. You pour it into the thing. You put a half a can of water in it, not a whole can. You make me a grilled cheese sandwich, and I'm done. Don't bring me tomato. Don't sit there and spend 20 hours in the kitchen making me soup of boiled chicken with noodles without flavoring.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Brenda, no, salads or anything with mayonnaise and pasta that sits in the refrigerator for a few hours, that's a salad.
Mm-hmm.
That's a salad. That's an appropriate salad.
What about you, Gwen? How is your diet? What is your psychic foods?
Okay, so I don't eat. I just recently recognized that I have a eating issue. I don't like to eat. I can't eat anything earlier than 10 o'clock. And then by that time, I just want some lunch or something. Mm-hmm. But I will only normally eat that one time a day. And then that's it. I'm liquid the rest of the time. And then I get, whenever I do get run down psychically, I will binge food. I cannot get enough to eat. But I can't get myself to eat properly.
Well, that's when you get, I'm going to be really direct with it. That's why I do my Slim Fast shake, is because me and food, if I just wake up in the morning or within 2 hours of waking up, fuck you.
Morning, I can't eat in the morning.
It's coffee until 10 o'clock.
I do love my coffee. I have learned to appreciate the Java juice.
Yes.
There's actually a coffee shop, and I know the coffee is overpriced, but it's so good.
It's your you deserve it.
Which one?
Taylor Books, actually. It's a bookstore with a coffee shop attached, because it's
a lovely espresso.
When the McDonald's commercial came out about, I don't have to pretend like I care about politics anymore, I was like, yes, I might start to go to McDonald's for my coffee, and then I started caring about politics. That's what I get.
What about you, Miss Dottie, my ADA manifestation?
I am the poster child of mental health, which, by the way, I want to say, and this is very, very kind of selfish of me, but I don't give a shit anymore. Today is a very special day for me. It is the 6th anniversary of my attempt to unalive myself, and I try to take this day to enjoy life because I am alive. And the first few times I was just fighting off the darkness that I'd felt before, but now I realize there is no birth without pain. And I have truly become who I am in the last 6 years, and just toot, and I'm okay.
Yay!
So, if you're feeling in a dark place, get some help, get out of there. And if it's a moment of cowardice that saved your life, fuck it, you're still alive.
Exactly. You're still alive. You're still with us. You've still grown. Look at how much you've accomplished in 6 years. You've become a CEO boss bitch.
I am a boss bitch.
Yes,
you're a CEO. That's the other part. You know, we get to work for ourselves. We have to mitigate our work. So, you know, these are things that we go through. Psychics walk through hell so that we can at least navigate you through it. You know, it's kind of like Google. When they decided they wanted to map the United States, everyone thought they were crazy because they sent out cars with cameras to take pictures of every damn thing. Now everyone's zooming in there to see what it is. That's what psychics do. Can you imagine some of these country back roads they've had to go through in West Virginia? You can actually look there and see the one goat with the satellite. So you're like, oh yeah, now I know where you say to turn.
You know, that's funny though, but I have been watching a lot of those Google creepy things you find on Google. Because, you know, once you watch one video on that, YouTube's like, oh, you like this? Here you go. And I came across one that was like, I guess the Google car went right by, like, somebody's ritual of some sort. Like, everybody was in white. They were all celebrating. There was one guy off by himself was probably the leader in like a big circle. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, they look like my kind of people.
That's just because you won't wear white.
No, not even after Labor Day.
I won't wear white because I'm a dirty bitch. Dirty. You know what? It's funny because some circles I go into and I'm just the grayest unused cotton ball in the bag. Like I am not a fluffy bunny, but I'm just gray enough to not be obnoxious. And then I go into other groups and I'm like, how did I become the
nicer?
I'm trying to find a word that doesn't involve like cussing because I am trying to like control my mouth. The what?
The nicer one?
No. I was gonna say, well, that too, but that's beside the point. No, there's some circles I walk into, and I'm like the
voice of reason.
I'm the experienced one. Like I'm the one who has done the things that are socially inappropriate.
I don't know. It's like everywhere I go, people say, "Oh my God, you're so dark. You're so dark clouded." And it's like, no, honey, you're just seeing the shine on my lovely shield. It reflects back like a mirror. So what's that dark cloud carrying you?
You know, so often we reach out into the dark for angels or demons, and we find just another person.
And it's both. So how's business? It's busy.
Oh, I was gonna say, quick question. Just thinking of talking about psychic diets. When you all are doing readings, like if you're an event and you got, you know, back to back doing readings, can you not eat? I notice I can't eat.
I drink water. Like,
yeah, drink
water. Here's the thing. Like I've noticed. Here's something I will say about that. Like, it's not so much a diet, but like I try to hold out, to take that pee break, to take that smoke break, to take that little moment, because when I get hot, they're coming in. The moment I'm like, okay, well, I need a break, they just like disappear.
Yeah, I don't have it. I'll go, you know, take a pee break, something like that. But I can't eat. I feel like almost like it shuts things down. I don't know if that's the right way to explain it.
You know, it makes sense because it's a pretty exhilarating experience. Like, you think about it, if you're reading like 10 people and you get that energy up, there is a certain exhilaration to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that the sympathetic system would kick in, the things that slow down digestion, the things that you get energetic, you're responding to people, you got to respond right now, you got to come up with an answer to a question. Like, I mean, and some of the questions we get asked, let's talk about that. Some of the questions we get asked are pretty intense. People come to us with their life stories. We're like, psychics will always be the stopgap in the mental health system. There will always be people that are less afraid of us than they are of going to go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Right. But no, I don't eat before events. I don't eat during events. I have people all the time. Like, she got mad at me. Pagan Pride. You need to eat. No, I don't. Get out of my way. I've got readings to do and a panel to do, and let's show off Shotgun Tarot.
Right, you gotta go.
Don't bring
When I'm all done, take me to a buffet because
It was from a place of love.
No. Like, it was everything we could do for Pagan Pride to get a boba tea in him.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Once you cut that energy up, it's hard. Like, you gotta wait till the end for your parasympathetic system to kick in.
Right. And
like, you have adrenaline on board the whole time because, like, I mean, you're presenting to people. You have to maintain face. You have to answer some sticky questions. You've got to be on time and fabulous.
Right.
Now, here's the fun question. Baby.
Joe?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to not talk over Tracy. But no, I was going to say, here's the fun question, though. Do you guys all have problems with people who are altered? Because I know Asen does. And it's not like, no, don't, like, it's not like, no, get out of here. But, like, if he's dealing with a room full of people that are drinking, he gets a nice little intoxication going. If he's reading and has someone show up that is, like, severely drug affected, he starts getting a little interesting.
You know, this is something that I have picked up on, that I, particularly in my chosen line of work prior to being a psychic, I cannot take on someone's personal injury. I will look. I will see for you. But I do not take it on. And I think that makes a huge difference, because I can sit there and read for 50 drunks and just be like, well, where's my drink?
I don't need one.
Right. Now, don't get it. Now, when I get drunk and go do readings, that's a fun time.
Well, that's another show. Let's kind of give them a shout out, because most of us have been on there, Drunken Divination. And I think that's the last time Asen drank, and that was the first time Asen drank and gave readings. But what was scary was he didn't get drunk, which is becoming a common factor. The only time I get drunk is when the person in front of me, like, I have to, like, have 20 of them come in fucking plastered before I'm like, oh, I finally got a buzz.
Oh yeah.
So, girls, I can't get through the. Oh, never mind. I don't know how far I want to take this. Do we want to talk about what happened?
I can talk about it. I've been out, so I went out Monday night. We can talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Tracy, are you okay with it? Because I want to make sure everybody's okay with it, because we can switch subjects like a fucking maniac.
I'm fine with it. I know we're all on the same page with it. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, well, then I want to start out by saying there is a rally July 9th at the state capitol at 2 p.m.
Yes.
Also, I'll be doing stand-up in Ashland on the 9th.
Yeah.
Don't know what time I'm hitting the stage.
Well, and I want to talk about it because, we've done some protesting in our time, and we got a lot of new people out there that are protesting.
I want to know, actually, you know what? That's actually a very valid question. Joe, Asen, you've been out for a while. We'll not put a date on it.
Oh, no, we can put a date on it. Like, basically 03? Yeah.
What year did the FLL Summertime come out?
What?
What year did Summertime come out? Because this is one of those memory things.
Oh, yeah, you attach it to... Okay, so...
LFAO?
We don't need to pin it down to a year, boys. We don't need to pin it down to a year. But being the elder gays in the community... Can you give us some advice for us newly active crazy bitches? Because, like, I was apolitical. Like, I mean, I was apolitical, and then I got married, and I spent too much time in the backwoods of Jackson County, which I ain't gonna talk about right this damn minute. So I missed that.
Okay, well, I'm going to be a lot political and I'm going to be a lot bitchy at the same time because people aren't going to like what I say.
I think it's about time we be bitchy.
Okay, first of all, here's the problem. The problem was the SCOTUS has ruled on cases, but our fucking Congress hasn't stepped the hell up and made it law.
So you're saying we need to codify this shit?
We need to codify equality rights to body autonomy. We need to qualify and codify women's rights to determine their body autonomy. And then we need to turn back around and go, oh, you remember all this other shit that the traitor and his wife pointed out? Those are now laws. Enjoy them. Okay? That's first of all. So that's that. When you're out protesting, do not, and I repeat, do not lay your hands on anybody. Do not get stupid. They are looking for fucking film. You know, everywhere in this country was a protest in any major city over this past damn week. Do you know who got fucking camera time? Arizona.
Yeah, because of their vandalism, which really, like...
They were banging on the doors of the legislature with their vandalism.
Okay, let's face it. They didn't do any more vandalizing than a fucking pack of teenagers do in an average weekend.
I get that. But you know who's getting the news time, who's getting the sound bites are those conservative assholes. Okay? So, when you go to protest, you're packing water, you're packing a frozen gallon, meaning it's frozen in the morning when you throw it in your backpack of milk. You're packing a first aid kit. You're packing a cloth mask. You're not packing weapons. That is not your game.
No.
I don't care if you commonly exercise freely the First Amendment or the 14th Amendment. There's a difference. One is the right to carry a knife. One is the right to carry a gun. One is in the United States. One is in the UK. You leave those at home. You don't even bring them in your car.
Yeah, I don't. I carry a walking stick, but it's more because there's a lot of fucking walking.
Oh, there's a lot of walking, and a walking stick is fine. However, I'm telling you, these are not the protests of your grandmothers. We got down other things that aren't making big news. Like, they no longer have to read you your Miranda rights.
Yeah, I saw that. And the January 6th trials are going on. Have you heard anything? Because the only thing I've heard was like CNN's 5 to 6 hour live streams on YouTube, and that's it.
Right.
Like it's funny how that's not getting covered.
Your leaders. One, if you're going to protest somewhere, you need to know 5 ways out of that city. 2, whoever is leading that protest, you listen to them. If they say back up, back the fuck up. Don't be getting rowdy. Go in there, organize. If we look at where we learned how to protest properly in the United States, which is back during Martin Luther King, they are in rows. They march in rows. They face against police. Your frontline people are your people in charge. They're the ones that's got the bond money. If you are going to a protest, you let 3 people know when you're going. You call in when you get there. You call in when you leave that city, and you call in when you make it home.
Do not walk alone. Do not fly your flag. Do not fly your colors when you are alone.
Do not walk alone. Do not protest alone. Do not fly colors or signs, and make sure the signs go in the trunk. I'm telling you, this is a different war game. When you have police dogs sent at you, when you have tear gas and rubber bullets fired at you, when they throw pepper spray at you, it's not a good thing. I highly recommend you either wear sunglasses, and I'm talking those really not fancy ones, because you don't care if they get broke if they're fancy, or you wear glasses in general. Exactly. You do not speak to news media unless you're running the cause. Example, if we have news media at Pagan Pride, Lady Gwendolyn, you better get your smile on, get your head up. That's
my job
to deal with.
Actually, be careful with goggles. Depending upon what you grab, like they'd better be swim goggles. Because if you inadvertently grab the nice protective goggles, those are ventilated, so you may still get and trap around your eyes pepper spray.
Yeah, those are you don't wear those to a protest. We are not looking. You're not going to be able to block gas with those. You are looking to block projectiles.
These literally are. These are literally resistant, and they seal.
Right, but the problem is you look aggressive. They can actually take you for aggression.
Dottie, you look like a superhero, and I'm here for it.
That's the problem.
I'm trying to make it to as many rallies and whatnots as possible. And I know this, y'all, I know you're exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Honey, we've been protesting since the day we were born. We're going to be protesting probably till the day we die. Okay? Point blank, way it is.
Also, here's the thing. Don't protest at home. Your neighbors don't need to know your opinions. In fact, you should try to make friends. And this is some country learning for y'all. Because the message of the mountain is isolation. You think 911's a joke in your town? Girl, the word town was a joke where I came from. The cops were coming to clean up and take names if you called them.
Right. Now, I'm going to give you an old sage advice from somebody else that fought another battle.
I was going to finish. Let me finish first.
Finish.
There was an incident, and I talked about this in my blog this week, about we had the neighbors heard screaming on our hill. It turned out that it was actually just the meth heads down the road, but the people who responded were not people that I politically agree with. We need to make friends with our neighbors. This is now more important than ever to humanize us to the people, because if we're going to win this, we're going to win this with our neighbors. We got to show them that we're people and that we're capable of humanity. And we need to speak up politically. We have to protect ourselves.
All right. Now, this is a very controversial statement. It is actually said by someone I highly respect. They need to know you by your actions before they know you by your witch title.
Ugh. Yeah, you don't need to let them know all your secrets.
No.
Good fences make good neighbors.
Well, this is a valuable lesson. If you're going out and protesting one Saturday, then you make a plan the following Saturday or Saturday after that to show up at a charity, show up at a food pantry, show up at a soup kitchen. Here's why. Because who's going to know more about your cause? The ones yelling on the news, or the ones that show up, that are there getting a food basket, getting this, getting that, and guess what? They're going to know your face. After 2 times being at a soup kitchen, you're going to have people that know you by name. Because you're the only person that saw them in 2 weeks that paid attention to them.
And I agree, because here's the thing. This has become less of an individual issue. Like, this is not about abortion. It's about the liberals. If we can reach people on a fundamental level, if we can make our neighbors question what they're seeing, like, this doesn't jive with real life. This is not how these people are.
Right.
They're not seeing the big picture.
They're not going to see the big picture.
Drives me insane. No, they don't see the big picture. They don't see. And when I say see ahead, you don't have to be psychic.
Right.
To see what's ahead.
Well, not only that, but the laws we're seeing come out of Texas, the laws we're seeing come out of Tennessee, the laws we're seeing come out in draft form out of Alabama.
You know, here's something I heard.
Pardon?
When's the next plane to Moscow? Like, that's not, like, if you look at what the Republicans have released out of Texas as their panel of things, when's the next plane to Moscow? At least over there, 1, I'll be a rock star. 2, I'll be employed by the government, and 3, I'll, the breadlines will get priority access to.
Like, that's a sad reality of what they are advocating for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a right that has been taken. It is only a matter of time before other rights are taken. It's a cascading effect. And yes, they're not talking about it yet. Of course they're not talking about it yet.
Yeah. I do want to point out, because it's really easy to forget the people who or to discount people because of any number of reasons that cannot, march, or you don't think can march and protest, that you feel like it might be dangerous for them to do so, like people who have complicated health problems. Always remember those people. There's a lot they can do, from like organizing to being your driver,
voting.
Like, I'm sorry, I can't, like, in terms of protest, I will yell and scream at all the Congress people I can over the phone. But if you want to try to put me outside, I'm gonna go up like a Roman candle, okay? Right. Like, it's not good for me. Like, that was the problem with coming out in the South.
Oh shit.
No, but I will drop your ass off and pick your ass up. Right. I will watch your stuff. I will make sure that everyone comes home that night one way or another. Mm-hmm. I will make sure I have emergency contacts. I will gladly call the ER and different fucking, police stations till I find your ass.
Here's the thing we have to realize. Here's the thing I want everybody to take home. The protests are great. We need to get our message out to the masses. Fine. That is the beginning of an action. This is not even the beginning of an action. That is the middle of an action. This has been going on, and this will keep going on. We are smack dab in the middle.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and this is the hard, remaining facts.
I'm sorry, Tracy. I know I'm a mouthy bitch.
Well, we're both mouthy. Just
you I completely agree.
But here's the hard fact. This has now become, these issues have now needs to start being your voting ballot questionnaire to every candidate. When I say every candidate, I'm talking city council member, dog catcher, police sheriff, all the way up to president. Where do you stand on the equal bodily autonomy? Where do you stand on equalized rights for all? Where do you stand on states' rights versus
where do you stand on homosexual marriages? Where do you stand on voters' rights?
Right. And see, I want to go bigger than that. I don't care just for the homosexuals.
And that's why I say voters' rights, because that's how they get the marginalized people.
Exactly. But I'm going to say this, point blank. I don't care about gay marriage. We don't have it. We have a court case that qualifies the ability to marry. I was marrying, I don't care who you are, how you are. What we need, however, is a very clear right of marriageable governmental contracts. Because that's what it is. It's a contract between one or more parties to join financial liabilities and live a life. I can marry anybody I want for a religious basis. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about, and what I've been proselytizing and yelling about for over 20 years now, is the right for you to choose who you marry by yourself, and for the government to give you the equal benefits of it. Not special benefits, but equal benefits.
Make sure your will, your living will, your power of attorney are all in order. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want your life mate being kicked out by your family at the end.
Well, here's the hard things, and we've preached this, and I've preached this 100 times. I have a binder. Normally it sits right over here, but I've moved it because I've had to pull paperwork to use. You need a will, and the moment you buy an asset that is over $500, you have to update that will. You need medical power of attorneys. You need durable power of attorneys. You need financial, power of attorney. You need a living will that clearly states how you want to be interned.
If you'd like to know more about what you need to have for your death, check out Dottie the Psychic's Death Part 1, The Living.
And that goes for anybody. That doesn't matter if it's a gay marriage, straight marriage, that stuff, you need that stuff no matter what.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Married, not married partners,
doesn't matter. Here's the thing. This is really interesting. Technically, if you're married less than a year, the family can. And Natalie, get your ass in here when you get here. Like, just because you're being held up by the barista to get your coffee made doesn't mean that you can't join in. You need, I don't care. If this is the weird thing, and this is what we have seen over and over again. We are looking at blended families.
Yeah.
We are looking at 3 and 4 ex-wives. Okay? That all could be making choices and decisions on the background if you don't have a spelled out will. If you are right now unmarried, do you want your 87-year-old mother deciding to unplug you because some drunk driver hit you?
Or deciding not to.
Or deciding not to unplug you.
Like, that's...
Or deciding to donate your organs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. Yeah. And if nothing else, like, if you forget everything else, at least please don't die intestate. Yeah. Like, you have no idea the nightmare you leave for other people without just a simple piece of paper that says, I want my shit to go to X, Y, and Z signed.
Right.
Like, it is such a nightmare.
Yeah.
If you die without that piece of paper.
You know.
Okay, let's get off of death and back to the protest.
Well, not only that, but you gotta, and set up for your pets. I saw earlier someone posting that their parents' pets were being taken to a shelter. I was so sad. That's why I'm a caretaker of a 22. Next month will be 23-year-old Pomeranian.
Small dogs live longer.
Yes, they do, and she's quite spry about it. But what I'm saying is plan for the end. Why they do not teach this in school, like they don't teach how to manage a checking account, is beyond me.
No life skills.
Death. We're talking about living. We're talking about living and living well and not being challenged.
I know this is kind of crappy because, like there's a very us versus them mentality out there.
But it isn't.
Which is something that needs to be resolved. It will only be resolved slowly. But anyway, one of the things, like, I have to agree with we'll say other side, is that we should be teaching that sort of thing in school. Yes, we should be teaching people how to balance their accounts. We should be teaching people about, Roth versus 401k versus, how all the ways that your employer is going to transfer you. And
there's high school seniors that don't even know what filing income tax is.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's where I always kind of go, wait, what? I took home ec in middle school, and we went through all of that.
We learned how to make monkey bread and wash clothes.
In home ec.
Huh?
I made pillows in home ec.
Yeah.
This is a viable skill that you should know, but
like, I didn't get to have half the home ec experience I thought I was going to have because I signed up for the class the summer, before the summer, so for that fall. And over the summer, we had a massive flood that took out good chunks of the auditorium, the home ec rooms, the band rooms, all of this. So when they came back in and we went in for that class, we didn't have stoves, we didn't have sewing machines, we didn't have, the list went on and on and on. I don't know if that was just the one magical year you should have walked into that class and taken it because she, taught out of the rest of the book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got all of that. And then our sewing requirement was we did stuff with plastic canvas.
Cute.
And our cooking requirement was we made haystack cookies.
Cooking is a viable skill. We should be teaching our kids how to function on a basic level first. Right. And I feel like that is something that does not get. We should know about, socioeconomics.
Right. Well, not only that, but how to change those socioeconomics.
We should understand our full government process. We should understand that, we should understand how our money works. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to have a program, I'm like, that's more important than trigonometry in a foreign language.
Right.
Not that those aren't important, but...
This is the thing that I face a lot with these ladies coming into the business. They don't understand you need to put 35% into a savings account for the end of the year. You need to put 1% of every dollar you earn, 1 cent to every dollar you earn goes into a savings account. And then when you have $1,000, you move that into a money marketing account. Unless you plan to be like me and reading at 97 years old.
Yeah, I'm going to be reading on my deathbed to pay for my nursing bills.
Exactly. Ray, what does Prissy eat? Any damn thing she wants. Currently, she's enjoying small pet Purina in the can and anything that Joe eats.
Because, and she's learned, because this may sound horrible, but follow me through. Okay, so she's getting ready to turn 23. So let's just do that quick math real quick. That is 23 times 7.
Like 97.
That is 161 years old.
Give that dog what she wants. You know what?
Exactly.
If you're still smoking, you keep smoking. Fuck it.
Exactly. Like that's where I'm at 161 years old in human years, like making it relatable. So yeah, like turning 23. If she wants chocolate, she gets chocolate. What is it going to do? Kill her because nothing else has?
The immortal dog.
I don't mean to sound flippant or rude, but like God knows this dog has to be ready to die.
The dog has been forgotten.
Just let me go.
Well, she's outlived 2 owners.
Yeah.
She's outlived. Take that into consideration. In her 23 years, she's outlived 2 owners.
Damn.
Poor Gwen, she's so quiet in the background. She's like, I got my own crap to deal with.
Well, when you were talking about protests, I was going to talk about my experience Monday. Okay. But
sorry, Tracy.
Just to kind of, put our experience in there, because it took the kid. Like, we went as a group. We took our daughters with us. It was a powerful experience. Everyone was very respectful. Now, you got to remember, there were men there too, but they were allies. There was a group of people that did not agree with us that was off to the side. It was very peaceful. I really enjoyed the police officers walking around with signs saying, "I'm with her." That was awesome.
That's great.
Nice.
And the speakers were really good, because there are some very powerful speakers, and they were opening it up to anybody that wanted to talk. There was some people that are actually running for office and jumping on, and talking about their platform, and at that they seized the opportunity. They really did. But I mean, it was short. It was only for they started waving signs at 3:00 in the evening, and the speakers started at 6. So it was really an all day thing.
It always goes.
But I mean, for Clarksburg, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was really calm. I mean, and everybody just followed suit. Anybody could come up with a chant, and and get it going. And I mean, it was powerful, and this was my first time. And well, a lot of us in our group, like all one, it was all of our first time, but we all felt so passionate about it that we couldn't not go.
Right.
If you want to see my first time protesting, check out my BLM video. Sorry.
Well, I wanted to do the BLM, but I didn't know about it until after it happened, because there was one here in Clarksburg.
Phoenix, there is an I'm with her movement already. Now, we've seen this before. We've seen this in the early 20th century. The movements we're seeing out of the Supreme Court isn't the first time they've pulled this. We're getting a lot of news reports. This is the first time SCOTUS has done this. No, they've done it back in 1918. Do you know there's been 3 civil rights acts? 3. And SCOTUS has dismantled 2. And now they're dismantling 1 at a time. One little BS, hitting it at a little mark at a time, little mark at a time, little mark at a time. Tracy, have you protested? What you doing? Where your activation at?
I have. I did a march with BLM. Oh, that was a couple years back now. People, that it was, a good experience. I believe there's actually a march Saturday, this coming Saturday in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Pending on my schedule, I would like to go, but I just got to see what's going on family wise and stuff. But we do have one in the area Saturday.
Well, because you can be out in the streets, you can be protesting, but be real about it. I'm too old to be marching like I was. I need to be a safe point. I need to be a lighthouse. I need to be a director. I need to be an organizer. You brought up something, Gwen, that I don't agree with because of some of the protests, and I told you about it. When we were in chat and prepping, I was like, no. Negatory Ghost Rider on. And that is taking children.
Yeah.
The crowd. If you have children, that makes you a level 10. Violence breaks out. Police make movements. Fire hoses comes out. Dogs appear. It is an unsafe city out of there.
Yeah, it's not the protesters I'm worried about. It's the counter protesters.
Well, I wouldn't dare take her to like Charleston, because that's going to be something way bigger than this. And I felt like it was important for her to understand what was happening, why it's important to her, and why we need to come together and stand up for ourselves.
Listen, I'm not judging anybody who does not go out and actively protest.
Right.
I will not judge somebody for not choosing to put themselves at potential risk. Because honestly, that's not entirely what's going to fix this. What's going to fix this is the quiet behind the scenes stuff. Are you, educate yourself about what's on your ballot. Educate yourself about your delegates. Not just your delegates. When it's on your ballot, when I say on your ballot, it's not just your delegates. It is the bills and levies you need to know about before you go in and put your vote in.
And one right now that people are going to be controversial, I'm not voting for another levy to schools. Nope. Why? Because that money no longer goes to my schools. That levy no longer goes to that child prison they've built down here. That goes to wherever the parents want it to go to, which could be the school that isn't even recognized, as in when the child graduates at 18, they graduate from the school. They do not get a diploma. They then have to go get a GED. That's one of the SCOTUS decisions nobody's really talking about.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
I mean, he straight went from, okay, well, we got rid of this. Let's work on the next thing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, on one hand, at least he's honest.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, you're within the school system. You see the benefit of the food program. How tight's your budget in that program?
It's not bad,
Caviar
really.
and steak?
What's that?
Are you feeding caviar and steak?
Oh, hell no. But it's not bread and water either. I mean, it's better than most, from what I understand. Another dish.
Currently, the state of West Virginia pays $25,000 for a child per year to a school. How much is losing 5 of those children from your school going to affect your food budget?
Shouldn't.
What about 50?
That's a pretty big question to ask.
How many teachers? How much are teachers are making? What, $13.50 a month?
Natalie, why are you in the chat and not on the thing?
She can't. She's having problems. She can't get in, so she's in chat to support. And Joe's going to be her voice.
Ah.
How you think technology's been wonky? It's been wonky this evening.
Yep.
Chrome vanished. Literally vanished.
Big changes.
That's going to bug me till I get that figured out later.
We'll
here's the thing. Like, here's the big takeaway. Like, I'm going to go to protest. And Pride itself, remember, it was a brick throwing riot to begin with. And that is not where we want to go. That is not where we want to go.
But that got movement.
And we have to remember.
There were protests before Stonewall. There were protests before Stonewall. There were organizations before Stonewall. Pride, getting the news media, getting people to face people, doing this, talking to people, bringing them into our lives. So Joe's got some catching up on his medium, his channeling ability here.
Okay. Well, apparently I'm channeling Natalie's higher self.
Uh-huh.
So
there you go. I'll blue light you I'll go through and blue light the comments for you.
Alrighty. So Natalie is apprehensive to actively go to a march or protest, just because she does not need the government to have any reason to deport her.
Right.
So that's a significant.
That makes her a safe spot.
I mean,
yes.
Here's the thing. Here's the more disturbing thing she said. She's not able to vote. Why is she not able to vote? She lives here.
But she's not a United States naturalized citizen.
Yeah, we've got some. We've got some really screwed up laws regarding voting in the U.S. And I know there was a comment made, and I can't remember where. I know it was said last night during the coffee shop, was that we're like they're wanting to remove voting rights from people who are receiving government benefits. Like, I'm just sitting here going, poll tax, what?
What it's actually, what the Constitution was written that only landowners had the right to vote.
Yeah, if you've ever heard
with that. Look, I love my country. I love my country. My blood runs 200 years in 3 graveyards. My blood is in this soil. And this is where I plan to make my stand. And I make my stand for my rights.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of things to shame my grandmother, but I've never crossed the picket line, and I never will.
Mm-hmm.
If you got your feet and your blood in this soil, then I don't care if you don't own land. And I'm not saying our forefathers had an idea.
Right.
Ideas are seeds. They must grow.
Mm-hmm. And this is why the Jefferson Papers are so important. And the justices apparently haven't read the Jefferson Papers. The Jefferson Papers is what the current Bill of Rights, not the current Bill of Rights, the current Civil Rights Act was written off of. That's why it got through. If we read the Jefferson Papers, Jefferson clearly stated in there that every born human should have the right to vote.
Our forefathers expected a revolution about every 10 years.
No, they expected to fail in 30. And I'm going to even piss off more of our viewers. What the hell? I have a lovely box of hate mail. I need more. Can we stop it with this? Our forefathers was a Christian nation. This is a Christian nation. No, it's not. If anything, it was a Taoist nation because our forefathers were Taoists. They were the enlightened men.
Well, and that's an at best. I don't know. Like, I'm over here. Maybe I'm the super weirdo, but I'm like.
Okay, apparently Luther's demanding some recognition. Oh, he's gone. Never mind.
But am I a weirdo over here going maybe 200 years on a constitution is just too damn much?
Mm-hmm.
Like, have we moved beyond a point in which the Constitution, as written, amended, and all the 4 bajillion laws written and argued under it, has just hit a point?
How about an update?
This is too much goddamn Bondo and duct tape to run a functional country.
Well, here's the fun part of it. The Constitution, that lovely document in Philadelphia, that's not the Constitution. If you look at the actual Constitution of everything in it, it actually fills up a bookshelf. That's why there's a Library of Congress, because they have to store everything in the Constitution. Separation of church and state. Yes, that was talked about. However, the justices have overruled separation of church and state. Yes, the majority, i.e. the false Supreme Court members, because they've now lied to Congress, and we have them on record to lying to Congress. I want to see how many of them actually get brought up on charges for lying to Congress. A rule that the separation of church and state does not separate the government from funding the church.
I don't know if you all know this, but on our ballot is a option to vote oppose or approve churches incorporation.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, like I've noticed, I went and I looked because I am trying to be more active. I am trying to be more responsible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to change my channel into something political because I'm Dottie the Psychic. I'm very niche. I don't need to be alienating my clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm very political. Hello, the Psychic Coffee Shop is a political channel. But I'm also able to set my beliefs down and go, okay, that's my personal beliefs. That doesn't have to do with my readings. I can sit and read with you. I can sit and read. I can sit and debate scripture. I can sit and debate hyper theory. I can sit there and debate whether Lilith was in the Garden of Eden or if she was in the Akhenaten. I can sit there and have that full-on debate. Why? Because my job as a psychic is to help you get to your next goal point. I don't care what your beliefs are.
So since we've been talking about protests, hey Gwen, how is the planning for Pagan Pride?
Let's begin talking Pagan Pride, baby girl.
Well,
okay, can I just for a moment vent for a second?
Yes.
Okay, so
what do you think we've been doing?
I appreciate. Well, I normally don't speak up. You all know this about me. I'm not a big talker. This is really big steps for me. Anyway, I realize, and I'm coming into that realization that people talk to me only about Pagan Pride because that's the only thing that they know about me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating because I'm so much more than that. But how do people know that I am more than an event if I'm not saying anything? So I've been like that whole mental health user voice, speak up, that I've been going through all of that.
Well, honey, here's a question for you. I'm going to give you names and you tell me what you know them for.
Well, no, I get
No.
that.
I want to play this with you. I'm playing a game with you.
Okay.
I want to give you names and you tell me what you know them as. Melina Fox.
Circle Sanctuary.
Okay. What is Circle Sanctuary?
It is what I hope to have here in West Virginia someday.
Lady Liberty.
Yeah, Lady Liberty League
is the organization. What do you know it as?
What do you mean? It's her foundation. It's what she started to give rights to us.
It's what she started to fight for rights for us.
Yeah.
When we were facing off CPS, when we've been facing off these laws. Okay. Oh, what is her name?
Susan B. Anthony?
No. All right, I'll tell you what I know her for. She's one of the Wiccan founders of the ecological movement.
I'm bad with names, y'all. You're all testing me, and I am failing big.
I'm not good at this stuff.
Well, that was a horrible round of Pagan Jeopardy.
Okay.
Around.
Since you brought this up, I will do the reveal, and we are going to have witchy trivia at Pagan Pride. So you better get studying.
You better get studying.
I ain't talking to any of y'all. I'm terrible with names. It's written in my diagnosis.
Oh, come on. You might want to sound in book. All right, Silver Ravenwolf.
I would rather not, thank you.
What do you know?
Okay. I'm going to stand up here and say
What do you
something
know
about
her
Silver
for?
Ravenwolf. I will not say that I 100% agree with everything she does.
Doesn't mean we agree with them.
But that was the first, like the second Wiccan book I had.
It's the they're over here. I teach out of them. Why? Because it's good material.
I'm a Buckland Cunningham girl, so
Well, I get that.
I don't, you know, I have my opinions. Okay, so anyway, what day is it? Next Wednesday night. We will be going live at 8 p.m. To do the Pagan Pride reveal. Tonight at midnight, so you still have 3 hours left to get your votes in for Pagan of the Year, Shop of the Year, and our logo contest. And then we will have that next Wednesday night, the big reveal. I got the schedule down and it's ready. I'm working on the website, so we'll be revealing that as well. So we'll be ready for the vendors to come.
I do have some messages from Natalie to catch us up. And she says, as a non-U.S. citizen, I am not a fan of this country. There's little to no actual justice, no help for the homeless, no help now for those in need of abortion, which at one point in time I myself contemplated. I went through a horror show and the police and government did fuck all to help me. From my perspective, I have no rights. So that is like, that's a lot to take in about someone who lives in this country, who has lived in this country, and is effectively not afforded the opportunity to be part of this country, to just have this country happen to them.
Stalhawk. Why do we know the name Starhawk?
Starhawk is the one that does Witch Fest.
What else does she do?
I don't know. Trying to make a point to me there, Azen, because I already got it.
Oh, really? Well, here's the thing. Starhawk was the one that brought the environmentalism into Wicca. Save the trees, hug the trees, that's Starhawk.
Mm.
We walk on the bones of our ancestors, that's Starhawk.
I'm more of a Libernal girl.
Yeah. So, in other news, somebody's going to the homeland in 2 weeks.
Is that me?
Yes, that's you. I'm so envious of you.
Yes, I'm making a trip to Lilydale, first time. I'm excited. I really can't say much because I've never been there, but I feel like I probably should have been there a while ago, but the opportunity, finally came about, and I'm pumped. I can't wait to go.
Mm-hmm.
So Asen gave me some tips earlier on what to check out, what to see, and I made my little list. And
yeah, and I have a personal mission for you later.
Okay.
What books do I teach out of? Someone asked me what books I teach out of. I'm going to answer.
Yeah, that was Ray Klein, and you do not have to apologize for the spelling of his name. If you knew how every time I got a new phone, it kept calling him Arson.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's Sag.
It's an experience it took forever to get the hers and hims, our AI powered devices, to quit trying to schedule appointments for Arson, because I was like, holy shit, we're gonna get arrested. Like, all I need is for, an arson to occur at 9:15, and I'm so screwed. It was a while there. But yeah, while he's grabbing books, because I know that's going to take a minute. So Natalie also wants to mention she did not come to this country by choice, and in order for her to stay here, she needs to pay nearly 10 grand every 10 years.
What?
Yeah.
Why? If that's okay to ask.
I'm going to assume that's extending a visa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or taking your visa. It's very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that.
Super expensive.
These are their hard copy books. Okay. Here we go. Meditation with Buddhist principles.
Sorry, green card, not visa.
Yep.
I don't know what I was thinking.
The Art of Psychic Reiki. Powwow Charms. Little red book. By Rob Champion. If you can find a copy of this, if not, see me. The Rune Mysteries by Nigel Jackson and Silver Raven Wolf. The Yellow Brick Road. Love this one.
That's in my pile of shit to do.
The Modern Witches Spellbook, number 2. I also teach out of number 1. Hetchcraft by Silver Raven Wolf.
It's not a small bookshelf.
I would think he'd have a library almost.
The Reiki Handbook. Oh, these are hard copy. This doesn't count the digitals.
Learning Reiki has been weird because it's been so long since I had to actually learn a system. Because a lot of what I do is, let's say it's intuitive. It's a whole lot of getting the shit beat out of me by life.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't boots on the ground living your life, then what are you doing, right?
If you have 1,000 books, then it is considered a library. Then I need to start having federal funding.
Holy crap, I think my Kindle's a library.
The Gypsy Witchcraft by Raymond Buckland. Like I needed it, but I need text. Weddings, Funerals, and Other Rites of Passages by Reverend Amy Long. God, Creation, Life, Tools for Life by Sylvia Brown. You're a student of mine, you're getting that. Season of a Witch. Season of Magical Life, A Pagan Path of Living by Byron Ballard. This one just
Asen, I
came
love you,
out.
but if we keep going through these books, that's all this live stream is going to be.
Oh, before. Utterly
He's not
Wicked
gonna
by
read it.
Dorothy Morrison. As you see, it's used a lot.
Friend, are you a friend of Dorothy's?
I am.
You know, that is actually like, because Dottie's short for Dorothy.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start bringing that up. Are you my friend?
Book of Shadows, The Solitary Witch by Silver Ravenwolf. The reason I like this book is because the documents in this book are actually from other research that she done that isn't publicly available in mass quantity.
Yeah, because she's not solitary. She's traditional, isn't she?
She's traditional. Yes, you should. It's lovely manuscriptural writings. If you are on the internet and you know how to be savvy, you should look for a Book of Shadows called The Book of Shadows by the Four Winds. It will be very instrumental.
Got like shit like The Golden Dawn, Real Magic, Libernal and the Psychonaut. Like that's where I am.
Uh-huh. So that's all the books that I include in a lot of my classes, and a lot of them. I have others that are Kindle based. I have others that are manuscript based. I have others that have been handed that go into my teachings that are life principles. But no, yeah, that's my hard copy set.
Now I'm curious who has more. Does Lady Gwen have more sets of divination or forms of divination than you have books? I'm curious.
She has a bookshelf.
I know.
I have a bookshelf in this room, and the top part of it is loaded down with different types of divination, and the bottom has a few books like color and Reiki and things like that, like color therapy, things like that I'm adding into my repertoire, and then there is a bookshelf in every other single room in this house except for the bedroom, but there's bookshelves galore. We have a pagan library here. It's the Rowan Temple of Light Public Library. I create little library cards on index cards.
Aww.
But no, yes, I have a lot of books. I read a lot. That's just what that's my current class. I update my classes often as new material comes available.
I'm personally a YouTube scholar. Check out Mind and Magic.
Mind and Magic is interesting. What about you, Tracy? What do you get into?
I love books. Because I started into this as a teenager. There was no internet. You got books. You got books. You read books.
Us 90s kids.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the one book here, propping things up. I can't move it. One of my very first books, Psychic Sciences. I have a ton of Sylvia Browne books. They're upstairs. Tarot books. I mean, you name it. There's a little bit of everything. Great books, I think those are upstairs, but yeah, I love books. And I still prefer a book over. I mean, nothing wrong with Kindle or anything like that, but I just like a book. I like to have that to hold and leaf through the pages, and there's just something like symbolic about that to me.
Absolutely.
I
agree.
Books don't crash.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
They do.
They do.
Yes. I've had many books crash.
Off the bookshelf, but they still can be read.
No. One of my favorite book, and I haven't been able to get another copy of it, is a Sylvia Browne book that she came out about the mystical traveler. It's basically taking on the psychic mantle. It had a very major crash with coffee.
Oh, yeah. You can destroy a book.
I did.
In all fairness, your Kindle would have exploded. Okay,
No,
Sylvia Brown. Look, I'm not talking shit about Sylvia Brown. I have avoided talking shit about Sylvia Brown, and I will continue to stop talking about shit about Sylvia Brown.
Yes.
That's your trigger, like Ravenwolf is for me. Like
I started out with Sylvia Ravenwolf. Like I said, I do not totally agree with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I keep my opinion to myself.
There are some concerning things, but also I kind of understand some of those concerning things. It is a bit, especially because I have Teen Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And in the introduction, she's like, hide this book from your parents. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But that's also, that is teaching kids to be a little subversive.
Hello. Have you not studied the old laws?
Oh, they're all subversive. Like,
yeah. Which I'm really thinking, and baristas vote, baristas and anybody watching this, I have profiles, message me. I'm thinking about teaching a free class on the old 168 laws.
Oh, wow. Well, Brenda points out flea markets were the place to score those books when she was young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because you couldn't.
Yes.
There was like a real dry spell in the bookstore there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you only got like the Love and Light stuff. And
I'm sorry, you still only get the Love and Light stuff.
You know, you're going to have to order some of them books offline. If you want to get, but I do see the Necronomicon, which is not one I would actually suggest, believe it or not. Like, yeah,
but if you're wanting to expand your knowledge and your faith, there's a lovely website called sacredtext.com. Mm-hmm. Hop on there and start reading. It's free. They gladly accept donations, but get on there and expand your mind and your theory.
Oh, y'all keep talking. I gotta pee.
And if you like books like I do, and you want to find old books, there's like thrift books, ABE books, any kind of used sites on the internet. You can find those old books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found a book that somehow it was in the library at my middle school, and I'm taking it out, and I did it through 7th grade and 8th grade. Well, then I moved on to high school, and I didn't have access to that book anymore. All these years, I remembered that damn book. I remembered the name of it. I remembered what it looked like. I remembered the author, and I got on one of those used book sites, and I have it. And it just meant something to me that I had to have that book. And I wish I could hold it up, but it's holding everything up. So I'll show y'all after the show. But yeah, like you can find those old books that don't have all that love and light and
Love and Light really didn't become a thing until the late 80s. And we were talking about this in Barista Chat, but no, Love and Light never became a big thing. All right, the book I'm looking for from Sylvia Brown is called The Mystical Traveler. How to advance your higher level to the higher level of...
Oh, just copy and paste.
Oh, here we go.
I think I have that book, Asen.
Yeah, it is a very good psychic training book. Now, a lot of people don't like it because I don't care about who the author is. What I care about is the material. Where did the material come from? What is the material about? That's why I teach Silver Room Wolf, because I know where the material came from. I can look there and go, that smells like something else. I can look at Sylvia Brown, and I'm sorry, yes, next to Edgar Casey, the next big bloop into the psychic realm is Sylvia Brown. But her information comes out of the Gnostic teachings. Her information comes from the older psychic trainings that are no longer available.
I don't know. See, I'm a little old school when it comes to psychic training. My psychic training was, this is what this card means. This is what this card means. Go have fun with the rest of the deck.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being tied to a chair, put into a cabinet, and you hear someone's voice. Hello, my name is Susan. What does spirit have to say for me?
That might be a fun experience. Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. This is my problem, and I will, I am one to state my opinions very clearly and relatively bluntly.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a psychic ability and choose to develop it, then a path will open up for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not have to be traditional to be effective.
Right.
I am technically a chaos mage, which makes a lot of people look at me like a creepy crawly. Like, they look at me like a spider. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'm sorry for you, because I'm a whole lot of entertaining. I have had people tell me, like, oh, wow, that's dark magic. And it is. But...
Okay, can you address this?
What?
Magic has no color. It's
right.
not dark, light, or shiny.
Morality is in the heart of the practitioner.
Exactly.
Magic is the fabric of existence.
Mm-hmm.
We can't expect it to have a morality. It is only there. The purpose of life is to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, flogged into astral travel?
Uh-huh.
Like,
practices.
Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, you just take a nap and your phone even relocates.
You got to tell this story, and then we'll wrap up.
That was the weirdest day. So we have an app on our phone, Life 360. Okay? He lays down for a nap. All of a sudden, through the house goes the notification that Asen has left home. Asen has returned home. He's in there taking a nap. His phone is next to him. He is in there taking a nap. I know where he is. We look in this app, and he literally, his position moved from one side of 19 to the other. 4-lane highway. He moved from one side of 19 and back.
Uh-huh. Now, continue on, because it took us a couple years to figure this out.
Yeah, it happened more than once.
It does happen more than once. But continue on, because you added a pen to it, so you know where I've gone.
Do we have to talk about the pen? Because I was kind of rude with the pen.
No, don't talk about the pen.
Okay.
Because
he actually was going to the house of someone we know. Like, that's what we finally figured out, is when his position moved in the app, he was actually literally moving to the position of a friend of ours' house that we didn't know exactly where they lived. We knew, like, roughly where they lived. No, it was literally showing up at their house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, that's creepy.
You know what, though? That's a great way to practice astral travel, because I've got a buddy who is like-minded, and so I would, like, astral project in on them, kind of without warning, which is a little rude, I know. But, just basically knowing that they're free. Astral project in them, and then text them and describe what they're doing to them, and they would either, they would either be like, okay, well, I'm not actually drinking wine, I'm drinking water. And it got pretty accurate. And there were a few times I was like, wait a minute, no, she's not like that. She's probably doing this instead. And believe it or not, go with, it was astral traveling. And that's a great way to practice. Like, a lot of people, when I try to train somebody to start astral projecting, I will tell them to, sit down, get into a meditative state, close your eyes, and then imagine the scene that you're in. Like, if you're sitting in front of something, close your eyes and then see that in your mind's eye. Now move around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great way to start.
Yes, it is.
I have such a hard time with that.
It's hard. It's not easy.
Like, I'm not trying to be scared. I don't think I am. Maybe, like, deep subconsciously I am. But I notice, like, as soon as I feel as soon as I know, like, I'm out, I just right back in. And I'm like, oh, like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as I realize I'm above, it's like, I feel that suck back in. It's like, dang it.
Here's the question, though, and this is a more, especially since you have mediumship tendencies, is it you being sucked back in, as in you're getting fear of being released from the car, or is it your gatekeeper throwing you back in and going, no?
I do think that there is a natural tendency for the body to defend itself, and you think about it, astral travel is what we do when we sleep and when we die.
And when you do mediumship.
And when you do mediumship. So it would make sense that the physical self reaching this plane of the dead would freak out, be like, I'm not dead yet. I'd like to keep my pulse, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's like the physical self. It's not my mind. It's like, oh, no. Back in. And it's like, oh, I just, but I have had a couple near-death experiences. So I don't know if that affects it.
Right.
My body, like, remembers that. And it's like, no. Like, I don't know. It's just hard for me to do.
Right.
So I had some actual interesting experiences with this. I had an entity that was trying to pull me out of my body.
Okay.
Long story short, there was a pretty aggressive and a powerful entity that I had regular contact with, not on purpose, but because of the situation I was in. Eventually we were just like, you know what, you don't want to screw with me, I don't want to screw with you, let's go our separate ways and never speak again. And that's kind of how that relationship ended. But every now and again I would go to sleep in this house, and it was trying to make contact with me because I'm a copper top. I am a copper top. Like, when I pull the power, I pull the power. I have set shit on fire on accident.
I don't want to discuss that. I've melted keyboards. I think every one of us has done something to where we destroy something.
Who hasn't blown a street light? Who hasn't blown a street light?
Especially, finding your husband cheating will cause things to break. But I do want to address something. Phoenix says a lot of old school practices can be found in a witch's Bible, as long as that Bible is written before 1963. After that is when it became bastardized.
And Natalie points out, every time I am close to projection, that vertigo roller coaster falling sensation takes over and I panic.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you keep rolling with that roller coaster, if you can, okay, I am roller coastering now and I am prepared to leave. It's a matter of calming those internal sources. Your body is not going to die. You set up your circle, set it and forget it.
Well, don't forget it. Maintain it.
Well, I mean, you'll come back to
it. They'll start creating portals, and people get really pissed off by that.
We had a portal in my house when I was a kid. It was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, because it degrades and destroys itself. Check your copyright date on that. But I think we've done good. We've had great coffee. I need a refill. So as we close out, where can people find you? What is your next event? Starting with Lady Gwendolyn.
I knew you was going to get me first. It's my fault because I've been quiet. My next event is going to be August 21st, I do believe is. That is the Mystic Artist Festival in Morgantown. It would be right down on Riverfront, not very far from Earth Magic. And I will be there all day representing Rowan Temple of Light and doing some fundraising, readings, and selling stuff to fundraise for Pagan Pride. You can also find me at ladygwendolynhealing.com.
Tracy.
My next event, I pull up the calendar, so make sure I said the date right. My next event will be the Mystical Psychic Fair. That's Sunday, July the 10th, and Library Fire Hall, and Library, PA. Yeah, that's the next one. And you can find me on tracyvann.com.
And can people come Walmart you if they see you at Lilydale this weekend or next weekend?
I'm sorry, what was that?
If people see you at Lilydale, can they come up and talk to you?
Yes, they can. I will be at Lilydale. Hold on, I'll give you the dates. I will be in Lilydale Friday, July 15th and Saturday, July 16th. Leaving on the 17th.
Reading in Lilydale. You're just
What's
visiting.
that? I'm just visiting, but I mean, I always have my cards with me, so you never know.
Yeah.
So, are you going to like vlog the experience?
We're going to try to instruct her on that one.
Okay, because
Yeah,
that would be awesome for those of us that
fun.
have never been there.
Yeah.
I planned on talking to you about that and seeing if we could do something, you know.
Very cool.
I would help you, but I'm going to be someplace.
Yes. All right, Miss Dottie, where are you at? What you doing?
July 9th, I will be trying my hand at stand-up at Ashland's Pride Picnic, because I'm about as queer as a $3 bill. And I will be there. I don't know when I'm hitting the stage, so you'll just have to come check out the event. I know that there will be drag queens and Dottie the Psychic doing stand-up, and they have snacks. They have snacks. And then the next day, I will be much closer to home. I will be at the Crystal Kingdom event hosted by Crystal Lotus. And by the way, Gwen, put in a good word for me because I wanted to add Earth Mother to my psychic shopping.
What do you mean?
Or not Earth Mother. Who's hosting your event?
Oh, Earth Magic in Morgantown.
Earth Magic. Sorry, I said Earth Mother. Put in a good word for me because I want to expand psychic shopping. Thinking about changing the format of my channel a bit.
Okay.
And Joe, where can people find you?
Oh, goodness.
Hostage?
So besides PCSP Network, which of course we are always on, mysticpcwv.com.
Yep. And you have on-call and activate. He can do remote access. He can do on-call if you're local. We do have UPS and FedEx pickup and delivery, and so no big deal. And of course, you can always find me at aceandlight.com. I will be at the Mystic Artisans Festival. I've got to take care of that this week. And then, as always, we will be back here tomorrow night with Mountain Bears. We're going to be a little late, guys. We're going to be coming in at 10:30 instead of 9:30. We have some scheduling conflicts within the cube.
Oh, WV Psychics.
Yes, you can find all of us at West Virginia at WV Psychics with an S.com, and you can access us there and our services. We hope and you have a magical evening. We hope you've enjoyed our little bit of coffee and a lot of tea. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And yes, your hate mail is graded by me.
Make it good. Make it good. If you're gonna hate, make it at least entertaining. Like, I want to see some new material, bitches.
I know. Like, come on, I'm a gay man. Do you know how many gay jokes I have heard? Like, come on. If you're gonna insult me, you better dig deep.
Yep.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're gonna come at me with some Bible teaching, then you better come at a new angle.
Yeah, because I know all 26 versions of it. All right, guys. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
And much profit to you.